So all of our hard work in learning how to factor is going to pay off now because we have a tool that's going to allow us to solve quadratics. Well, what's a quadratic? Well, quadratic is kind of a squiggly line. It's a polynomial that's of second degree, meaning that I have a variable in it to a second degree. So I would call this a second degree polynomial, and specifically we call it a quadratic. And I've written a quadratic in its standard form. Now, as we solve these quadratics, there's one other little piece of information that will be helpful for us. And it's called the zero product principle, which means that if I have, let's say for example, I have some product of numbers, a times b, if they equal 0, what can be said of a and what can be said of b? Well, if this is true, then I know that a would have to equal 0, or b would have to equal 0. And that's called the zero product principle, or the zero product principle, which we're going to use to help us factor quadratics. Now, I bet you haven't realized that you've kind of been working with quadratics through our factoring. These two binomials, if I multiply them together, are a quadratic. I want to turn it into an equation, so I'm going to set it equal to 0. So the first step in learning how to solve a quadratic by factoring gets back to the zero product principle. I have some a times a b, and it equals 0. So the solutions of this occur when either a equals 0 or b equals 0. And I like to solve both of those. So 3x minus 1 equals 0, add 1 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 1/3. That's one solution to this quadratic. And the other one, again, solve for x. Subtract 2 from both sides. X equals -2. So I have two solutions to this emerging quadratic. 1/3 and -2. And I found those by using this zero product principle.